Outstanding.
Good morning,
Happy
Michael.
October, my friend.
Hey,
October 1st. Happy
October 1st.
Saturday. Happy Saturday.
That's crazy, isn't it? So,
So glad you're okay. You're the Florida half of this podcast.
so there's a thing here I'm in Oldsmar. Next to my thing is a place called Safety Harbor, which is a nice town.
What flood zone are you in?
I'm in flood zone A,
Alpha.
and I was a mandatory evacuation. I had to leave, mandatory. So we went over to Brandon to my brother-in-law's house.
How far is that from you?
It's about 45-minute drive.
Inland, going east?
Yeah, and he's best cook I've ever met. He's just awesome.
How nice.
So we had a good time with him, but they actually had more wind than water, not that much, but more than we did here.
Crazy.
One time,
Ironic, some might even say.
one time we evacuated, we went to Virginia because it was, I think it was Charlie was coming into, it was supposed to come right into Tampa Bay. So that, and I'm like 300 feet from the upper Tampa Bay. So, it's like salt water near my house,
Right.
300 feet.
Yeah.
So if that thing came in with the surge, my house would have been wiped out for sure. So we went to Virginia, and it turned further south into Florida. It might have been Charlie, I don't remember.
Okay.
But we survived it. But this place next to me, there's a thing called Safety Harbor, which is a nice town.
Yep.
There's a park there called Felipe Park with all the trees and stuff, and you go. It's on the water. So
Felipe Park.
Felipe Park. You can go walk around the water. The thing. It's like I think it's almost a mile and a half from start to finish if you want to walk the trail.
Oh yeah, so you got the walkers and the bikers, and nice.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. So this morning though, I drove a mile to the gym to walk a mile on a treadmill. Almost crazy, isn't it?
Oh my goodness. That reminds me of a funny. I got this new friend of mine named Tommy. And we'll leave it there. And he's a really neat guy. And he lives about 2 hours from me.
Yeah.
We were at a meeting this week. And there was supposed to be a guest speaker, exciting. And Tommy traveling 2 hours to come to this meeting. So the speaker was traveling internationally and was not able to get here with some visa issues. And so we brought him up on a Zoom. And I brought a TV, and it all worked out really nicely. So afterwards, Tommy's making a few comments to this small group, and he says, with all this quarantine stuff that last couple of years, like, Zoom all day, every day, and as we start to get at it, he goes, "This is the first time I've ever driven 2 hours to go to a Zoom meeting." And I just thought it was really funny perspective. Wow.
So
Wow.
you drove 2 hours to go to a Zoom meeting?
Right, because the guy was zoomed in because he wasn't there.
You couldn't watch it. You couldn't watch
It
it.
might have been better. It might have been better at the time, but then I thought I could relay that well. So you have fared well. You had to get out Monday at 6. Did they also give you some sort of alert when you're allowed to go back home?
Well, they don't really give you the alert. You have to kind of do a little research.
Oh yeah.
How
long were you having to be gone? Did 48 hours? Did you go back? You're obviously home now. You're in the No Hissy Zone studio. I see that.
Yeah, so we came back Friday morning.
We're gone 4 days then. 3 or 4 days.
I mean,
and just a lot of rain, no property damage, nothing like that for you?
no, just a lot of rain and.
Thank God. All the people in the Northeast are always, how we react to these things is we start making mental notes. Who do we know? We're checking in and we're texting people, and the people we can't get in touch are on Facebook saying we're good and thanks and all that stuff. So thankfully for me, and I take it for granted, but everybody I know is fine. Worst I heard from people who I know and care about was just, lost power. So
and then now Ian is going through North Carolina and probably going to Virginia and that kind of thing, and then.
So you got sunny Florida weather this morning? You're back to normal?
Oh, yeah, it was probably some more weather yesterday too. So the thing is that this weekend, actually beginning of next week, we're supposed to go to Virginia to a wedding.
Oh,
but that's
next weekend?
No, we're supposed to leave like Tuesday or something.
Oh.
But that's where the storm is right now, so I'm not even sure if I want to chase it down up there, Crazy.
I guess I'm assuming as it continues, it just loses its power. Like we got rain all day today. It was raining earlier, but it's just rain, you know.
I don't
But
know
this
if you,
might be the top of what you had. Interesting.
you remember Hurricane Gloria in 1985 that went through Massachusetts.
Oh yeah.
I have a story I have to tell you about that, but not on a Zoom.
Ironically, I've got one also. Trying to one up you. Wow, Hurricane Gloria,
So
1985. Somebody
Eric,
referenced 1985 this week. I'm like, oh, you mean yesterday? And they laughed. Crazy.
Eric was born during the Gloria. So Terry was in the hospital. I was there, all night long, and she was in labor for just about the whole night. So once in a while, I'd go over to they had a little lounge with a TV, and I'd go over there and have a coffee or something. And there was a guy that was there with me, and he was waiting for the same thing. His wife was in labor, so he needed a little break. So we talked. We got to know each other. The following morning, when the babies were born, I went over to where the babies are, where you can look it through the window where they have the little bassinets, whatever. And he was there. He goes, "Hey, man, what'd you have?" I said, "I had a boy." He goes, "Oh, man, you're awesome. You're very, very fortunate." I says, "What'd you have?" He says, "I had a girl." I says, "Well, you're fortunate." He goes, "No, you only have to worry about one boy. I have to worry about every boy in town." That's the way he was already thinking. That was weird.
That's funny. So he was born during that. That's 30. I just did the math. 37 years ago.
Yeah, he just turned 27 on the 26th. 37, I'm sorry, 37 on the 26th.
37.
I told him, cut that shit out. You keep giving birthdays, I feel older.
Right. I know, it's amazing.
And my son Josh in Norway is 40.
Well, they age faster in Norway.
Oh, yeah. So I got to ask you a question.
Yeah.
You know Colin Kaepernick, right?
Colin Kaepernick, yes.
Yeah.
Is he playing right now? I don't even know if he's playing or not.
I don't think he's not playing.
He was the big controversial quarterback with the kneeling during the
so
national anthem stuff.
I don't think anybody wants to hire him because they know he's going to be aggravating everybody. But now they're saying that he's a singer, and they're trying to get him to sing the national anthem at the next Super Bowl.
Stop it.
But I don't think people are going to sit. I don't think people are going to stand for it.
Oh boy. That's actually pretty creative. I like what you did there.
Wow.
People won't stand for that. No.
People won't stand for that.
So October 1st is funny. The month of September, I got very specific on a bunch of goals. I had goals written down in a bunch of different areas, probably 6 different areas of my life. And I was referencing it regularly. I got a good friend of mine who I kind of like an accountability partner. We talk every Friday. And yesterday was kind of a cool day. It was the last day of the month. And I was looking at my goals and how did I do? And I made really good. Well, I made progress in every area. Some areas were really good. And I didn't hit one of the goals, but the progress you make was, it's almost not about hitting them. If you hit them all, then you didn't set them far enough. And so maybe I'm setting them too far. I didn't hit one, but I made really good progress in a lot of areas and I felt really good about it. And so last night I was my dad and I used to go to this place near me called Arts. It's not quite a dive bar. They got a little nice, like a pub menu. And so I got up there early yesterday by myself. I had this little table where my dad and I used to sit, and I had my little pad, and I was looking at it. Was the first time I ever did this. I was looking at my September goals and just kind of like finishing it, like releasing them. It was a pretty cool thing. And I was starting to write out some October goals and some notes, which I'm finalizing today. I was making kind of like the notes for each of these areas, and today I'll kind of finalize it. But it was kind of a cool thing, and I was doing some reading this morning. I always do this morning routine, which I've been doing outside on the porch. But I'll tell you something, right? It's getting October 1st, the new one. I was getting a little bit shy to put an extra pair of socks. I'm out there, and I'm like, oof. But I was reading some stuff this morning that correlated perfectly to it. It was just a reminder about this, each of us. And we have this comfort zone, which just seems to just pull us in, like, don't do anything out of here. It's nice and comfortable. It's like a little glass of, it's like a cup of hot chocolate, and you can sit in your little comfort zone. And there's a English philosopher, I guess, who was quoted in my reading this morning, some guy named G.K. Chesterton, but he was called the Prince of Paradox, and he wrote some stuff around it. But the whole mindset thing, I was reminded, as we've been forever, about our goals and things we're trying to achieve in our lives. If we stay in our comfort zone, it's just not going to happen, and the concern about getting out of the comfort zone is risking that failure. But ironically, staying in the comfort zone and having no risk guarantees failure in anything you're trying to accomplish. And as you get out there and risk failure and actually have failure, you're greater chance for success. Fascinating. So I was reminded of that again this morning. This guy, G.K. Chesterton, had this cool quote. He says, "I do not believe in a fate that falls on men however they act, but I do believe in a fate that falls on them unless they act." Reminding me, right? And it reminded me, like, kind of just whatever it is for you to get out of the comfort zone and take that step, I encourage you to do it. Helen Keller said, "Life is either a daring adventure or nothing." Powerful.
She used to say, "I see that life is." That's a good quote right there, though.
Daring adventure or nothing.
So from the last episode,
throwing Helen Keller under the bus. Okay.
So one
I
of
think
our
she'd support it. She likes humor. I think she would laugh at that.
The last episode we were talking about how you're going to be doing a talk for.
Yes, I'm writing that today, finalizing it.
So one of our viewers that's known me for a long time knows that pretty much anything that somebody's talking about, I come up with a joke that pertains to that somehow.
We did a lot of jokes last week too.
And you were asking if there's a such thing as a joke to open up a talk on grief.
You came up with one, didn't you?
Well, I didn't really.
Oh.
But what the reason that the person called me was saying, "Hey, I noticed that Mike was trying to." She thought that you were trying to get me to give you a joke to open up for a grief talk. She says, "You never gave him a joke. I think he was disappointed." I just didn't. Because I said, "Well." You said, "Can we ever know?" I said, "You can have a joke if it's the right one. You can't say if they're in."
Right. I think we agreed last week. There's a few I should never use to open any talk I do. Oh, that's funny.
So today it's like 73 degrees right now.
73. What we got here? Beautiful metropolis of central Massachusetts. Just went from 49 up to 51 during this just first 10 or 12 minutes of the podcast. And it's raining. It's going to rain all day.
Here in Florida, if it goes below 45, I have to go up in the attic and get out my winter shorts.
That was perfect. So band's been rehearsing regularly, which has been a lot of fun because the new knee is rocking it, so to speak, no pun intended.
How does the knee feel?
And it's pretty good. I mean, physical therapy's thrilled. I'm going to once a week from twice a week. It's all about strengthening muscles, and it's still a little funky, but I'm doing literally better every day. I can see things happening every day, like I'm going in the right direction. So I'm walking and all good. But I record everything we do on my iPhone in the studio. We're just messing around and we're like coming up with stuff because we're an original band. And so most of our stuff comes from, listening back on the phone and go, let's put that with this and see what happens over here. And so the guitar player has been asking about this riff that got recorded. And I'm going through everything trying to find it. And this is weeks and weeks ago, and I couldn't come up with this. It was acoustic. And I'm like, we usually name stuff. I usually name them, but it's funny because we're an instrumental band. We might as well call them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. We come up with names wherever it makes you feel. And there was what was the name of that song? Wise, believe it or not. And so we listened to it this week, and I commented, this is recorded in September of 2019. So it's 3 years old. And we got this really cool riff. And so we listened to it a bunch and we had a whole song to it. And I go, why don't we just revisit that riff and build a new song? Like, let's not have that template, but let's use the riff. And so we're getting together this afternoon for an hour and a half at 4:30. And we're going to hammer that out and see what happens with it. So I'm excited about it. But in looking for that one, I found the original acoustic thing that Marco was trying to find, so we found that also. So we're hoping for a nice productive afternoon in the music studio.
Very cool.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Looking forward to it. I was hoping to get a side yard gig in before the season's out, but October gets funny in terms of weather. We did one last year on October 23rd because Joe was in town, and had, I don't know, 20, 25 people. I had to move the time. You go from 3 to 6 back to like 1 to 4 just for daylight. Lit the grill, but it was a beautiful late October afternoon. It was probably 60 degrees. It was perfect, but it could have been 25 degrees also. So we're probably not going to get one in this year, but we're working hard and putting stuff together, and we'll get back to it next seasonally.
Cool. So Terry does, she gets hired often to do the celebration of life. When some people don't want to have a big funeral, they do a celebration of life because sometimes they cremate the body or whatever. Or there's that cremation, right? That's what it's called. So I use the camera that I have a Zoom camera with the 2 microphones. So I used to use it for years before in the
That's good
band.
quality. Yep.
But then I use it to do the thing outside, but we're doing it outside by the bay there, and it was windy. You're supposed to have a sock to put over the microphones because there's 2 different microphones. You're supposed to put a sock over it. I didn't bring it and didn't really think about it until after when I watched it. The wind was like making all kinds of racket, right? So one of my cousin's husband, he's actually my cousin now too. He's a videographer. I told him about that. He says, "Well, give me the SD card. Let me see what I can do." So he went in somehow and removed probably 90% of the wind noise.
Crazy.
So he says that the rest of the video now is a little bit thinner than it was before, but it's still fine. We don't have all that noise. How do they do that? It's like crazy.
That's amazing. Thank God he could.
I know, it's awesome.
I got a friend over on the East Coast down in the Lauderdale area, and he always calls me when he's out for a walk. And we talk often. And sometimes the wind is whipping across his microphone, or at least the way it's amplifying it to me listening on a cell phone.
Yeah.
I can't even hear him.
Right.
Some days I can. Sometimes he'll call me from riding his bike, which just does nothing but adds that much more velocity over the microphone.
Well, look at it this way. At least they call you.
That's fair. That's fair. I pay him $20 a month, you know.
You pay him 20 a month?
Oh, the construction continues on my home.
Oh yeah.
We're getting close. This guy's been promising me, you know, all the code violations. I told you the story about the stained glass window, right?
Yeah, that was a good story.
That was a good one. I'm not going to retell that. But once they could like board it up, I mean, the insulation sheetrock goes in, then it goes very quick because it's plaster, it's paint, and then it's, you know, flooring and cabinets and granite and appliances, boom. And so we're about halfway through that. The flooring got down, and then of course this week the cabinets showed up. This is a small space. My kitchen is 12 by 12. I showed up one day and the cabinets had been delivered, and they come wrapped up in the plastic and all these different pieces. The kitchen was full. The dining room floor space was full, and it was spilling into the living room. I'm like, what's with all these cabinets? It's unbelievable. So now they are, gosh, I think they're all in, almost all in.
So when the kitchen is all complete, are you going to want to move back over there? Or are you going to want to stay there where you're at now? You seem very comfortable there.
Well, it's a nice chair that I'm currently in, so it is comfortable. But the plan is for me to go back a couple of weeks, I guess. Beautiful Lynn is here. The beautiful Lynn has a couple of amazing sons. Her younger one is finishing law school and will be coming back here end of the semester, Christmas thing, and then his last semester is just an externship working in a law firm where he already has worked. So he is going to come back here and bring a buddy of his in to this place, and she's going to head to Worcester, which was part of the thinking of this whole renovation project. And it just occurred to me, won't it be fun when we pop open for a no hissy fit zone, and there I am in a different spot in a new kitchen.
A new kitchen, yeah.
Bathroom's gonna be new too. Maybe I'll do it from the bathroom. We've got a couple of options. Laundry room.
No, that's okay. You stay in the kitchen.
Laundry room could be nice. 5 by 5.
The laundry room. So during the podcast, you could be folding towels and stuff.
I can do laundry. I would wonder, I think probably the dryer would be less noisy than the washing machine because I got one of each making in the laundry room.
You know those sheets that are fitted in there, the elastics that
Oh yeah.
so they don't slip out of the thing. I watched a video that day, somebody on YouTube showing they're supposed to should be showing how to fold those. You ever see those?
I have not seen it, but I was at a convention once. It was about, I think everybody in the audience was a speaker. And so it was all about how to promote your speaking business. And they were talking to people who have some successful businesses out there speaking. And one of them, um, would always, it's just funny, quirky stuff. Like one guy, when he was hired by a company, he would let the company pick which one of his sport coats he was going to wear. I guess he's known for his sport coats. He's got 30 sport coats. He would send them, or maybe it was online. Here's all my coats. You get to pick which one I want to wear. And people were like, this is interesting and cool. It didn't matter, it had nothing to do with why he got hired, but it made him sticky to them. Like they never forgot that. There was a woman who would send along a video on how to properly fold those fitted sheets. I'm like, that's really, because no one knows how to do that.
So I saw
unless you watch so you saw the YouTube video.
This lady said she's going to teach everybody how to do it. So
What's that?
So I never know how to fold those things myself. So I'm watching like I really want to know. She takes it and rolls it up into a bundle and throws it into the laundry basket. Says done.
Oh, I didn't realize I've been properly folding those for years. I had no idea.
Yes. It looked like she was really going to do it,
Right. Well, there is a way, and only because I know that this person used it as part of their marketing, and I'm sure it's on YouTube. Got to be on YouTube. Everything's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Of course, it's also the internet, so I don't know. But proof's in the pudding, If they do it and they show it to you, then there it is. Okay, I got to believe that. Now you got me curious. Now I'm going to go check YouTube after our recording.
You see how to fold those?
What if I should include that in my October goals?
What's going on with your light? At least it seems like it gets brighter than it goes.
Well, you know why? There's a light right there, and if I get too far back, I get out of it. But if I lean in like this, I'm better. No.
Oh no, either way it's fine. I just wonder if the light was getting brighter and dimmer.
Either way it's fine. Oh, I see. It's more of a height thing. Yeah, see that shadow right across the head? Hey, baseball season's getting, this is quite a season. I mean, if you're a Red Sox fan, it's not, but a lot of exciting things going on. Albert Pujols hit 700 home runs, actually 701 yesterday, but I didn't realize I guess I did, but he's the fourth person in baseball history to do this. So he's hanging around with the likes of Babe Ruth and Henry Aaron and Barry Bonds, who's up there also. And of course, that's a whole different little piece in there because performance-enhancing drugs and what do you want to do with that? But he's got the numbers. But Pujols became one of four, and this is his last season. He's got 5 games to go, and he said, "If I end at 698, I'm not coming back. This is it." So that was exciting. And then all the people are watching Aaron Judge with the Yankees, who've been chasing the American League home run record in the season, which has been held by Roger Maris, another Yankee from 1961. He hit 61 home runs. And so Wednesday night in Toronto, Aaron Judge hit 61. And they're playing the Orioles this week, and they lost last night. All the best teams are losing, some really bad teams right now, but they're clinched their playoff berths anyway. And as a New Yorker originally, I'm still carrying a little flag or a decent sized flag for the Mets. In fact, this is kind of the Mets blue, isn't it? That's in a huge pennant race with the Atlanta Braves. So they're tied for first place, and they're playing each other today and tomorrow, which could determine that. And a couple of games left. It's interesting. So a lot of exciting stuff.
So Zig used to tell a story about baseball where the coach had one guy in left field that wasn't playing well. So he says, "Listen, next inning you're gonna sit over here, and I'm gonna go out there and play to show you how to play left field, whatever." So he goes out there. Several balls came to him, but he never caught a single one. This is the coach that was supposed to be teaching the player. So after the inning was over, he was like very frustrated. He goes over to the guy and says, "Hey, I don't know what you did over there, but you ruined it for everybody. Nobody can play over there now. What have you been doing?" So it wasn't his fault that he wasn't playing well. It was because the guy messed up the area over there.
The area, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Crazy.
Very funny.
What do you got going today?
Today, I am spending quite a bit of time on these goals and finalizing some stuff and diving in on a couple of things. There's a bunch of computer work I can do on several of these things, aviation being one of them. And I got a few things. I got some shopping I got to do. I got to buy tile for the shower and get that there. And a band rehearsal at 4:30, which I'm looking forward to hammer out that song. I'm not sure if we're going to keep it called Fruit Flies or not, but we're going to use that riff.
Fruit flies.
Fruit flies. I don't know. It's silly. It's, we just have to come up with stuff because I'm in my phone and go, okay, what am I going to call this? And they usually not see anything. I come up with something. So it'll be fun. I'll keep it posted. I'll send you a little clip later on today if we got something worth listening to.
So right next to my house, there's like a field, probably, I don't know, maybe 40 feet wide or something, maybe 70, 80 feet long or whatever.
Like a house lot size?
Well, you can have like about 4 or 5 lots there, but they're not. It's just a lady owns the property, and she's a weirdo one. She just has the vacant land there.
But what? Did you say she's a weirdo?
No, she's a widow.
Oh, widow. You said she's a weirdo, and I thought, I hope she's not watching the podcast.
So the other day I'm over here in my office, and I could hear somebody that was out in the field there making, talking and stuff. So I went over to see what's going on. There was a guy with a frisbee. One guy with a frisbee and a dog.
Oh yeah.
So he would hit his leg, and the dog would start running, and then he'd throw the frisbee as far as he could go, and the dog go and caught it every time and brought it back to him.
Amazing.
I watched him do this about maybe 5, 6 times in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I went over to him. I said, "Sir," and I gave him the knuckle thing. I says, "That is freaking awesome, man."
A fist bump.
He says he gets it every time. So I see that. That's awesome.
And he's like jumping for us. See some of these videos, the dogs are jumping crazy, flipping over and grabbing him 6 feet in the air.
The dog was jumping, but this guy knew how to throw it as well because he didn't throw it where it went like way off there or something. It was just
right.
The dog would catch
it. Lofted up there, and that's cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
One guy with a frisbee. It's a good name for a song.
So when I was over at my brother-in-law's house when I was evacuated, he has a real nice dog. And the dog that usually goes at a certain time goes outside to do his number 2, and number 1, number 2. But so my brother-in-law would go to open the door to see if he wanted to go, and as soon as he opened the door, he'd go, come back in, right? He wouldn't go outside. This went on for a couple hours. So finally we figured out why, because every time the door opened, he could hear the wind blowing.
Right.
He said, "I ain't going out there." And I was reminded, remember that the last tsunami, that was a big tsunami, I forget where it was, somewhere in the other big tsunami.
Those are scary. Oh my God.
Yeah. So anyway, in that place where that tsunami came out, before it hit, all the animals, cows, horses, sheep,
wow,
dogs, everybody went up this hill to the top of this hill. All the animals.
Instinctually, they felt something happening.
They knew it was happening. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
That is crazy.
Wow. Nature's amazing.
Mm.
I don't know.
I'm going through my head. I'm trying to think of the name of this book. This is a great book. A friend of mine recommended it to me. It was about a guy and his dog, but it was told from the perspective of the dog and this owner. Racing in the Rain, something like that. It was a great fictional book, but you just talked about a piece, and this dog was part of the narration. Was he met this person, and through smelling, he could tell that this person was developing cancer, and said it will be years before the doctor's going to find it. But the dog knew. Yeah, Racing in the Rain, I think is the name of the book.
There's a thing going on where sometimes when people are in the hospital and they're really sick.
I just came up with that. Hold on one second. Racing in the Rain book. Continue. Sorry.
Oh.
The Art of Racing in the Rain.
The Art of Racing in the Rain.
Great book if you're looking for if you're a dog person or not. I'm not, and I love the book. So,
Well, you can't be a dog person. You're either a person or a dog. You can't be both, right?
you know what I meant.
I knew what you meant. Yeah.
Yeah. I cut you off. You were going to say something perhaps important or good. We'll find out. We'll be the judge. Go ahead.
Well, you lost my train of thought. You lost my train of thought.
Great album, Train of Thought. Do you know that one?
Wow. Train of
Pretty
thought.
heavy. Pretty heavy.
Wow. So the Thanksgiving weekend,
Yes.
the turkey.
I don't have my tickets purchased yet, but I will. Already in the calendar. Saturday night. You gonna be up?
I think I'm going to. Yeah. First, I have to buy the tickets, then I'll go.
Whatever it takes to get you there.
Yeah. Wow.
Saturday night, Hudson, Mass, Portuguese Club. That's the 26th, I think, of November. The Betancourt team is putting some music on. We'll just leave it at that.
It's always awesome. That show is always awesome. I don't know if I told you this one time. They were playing somewhere, and this was back then when everybody had wristwatches. You know, people don't wear them that much anymore. And they were playing "Too Much Time in My Hands" by Styx. Right. So
really,
Robert was singing it.
Yeah.
And I said to everybody, "Hey, everybody, give me a watch, give me a watch, give me a watch." So I had about 7 or 8 watches, right, including my own, and I had them in my palms of my hand like this. So Robert's singing "Too Much Time in My Hands," and I went up to him like this with the watches, and he lost it. He couldn't sing. He started laughing.
Oh.